So how will we work together? This forum has a dual purpose: to get your views on how to further the cause of culture in Europe through the objectives and the methods we propose for your European agenda for culture, and to ensure that ministers are made aware of these views by presenting them with clear, coherent conclusions, which will be the point of departure for the discussions tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Each objective, which we settled on after broad consultations, will be debated in a separate workshop: intercultural dialogue, the economy of culture, Europe and the rest of the world. On workshop number 1, intercultural dialogue, our cultural diversity defines what we are in Europe, promoting intercultural dialogue and cultural diversity as part of the EU mandate conferred by the treaty. Given that the thrust of our policy is to see more flowering in intercultural exchanges, I think some questions in particular merit discussion. Mobility of artists and of works of arts. What are intercultural competences and how can we foster them to build inclusive societies? What is the role of multilingualism? What is the role of the economy of diversity? As far as workshop 2, economy of culture, is concerned, creativity is an important driver of growth, competitiveness and jobs in the EU. And we must explore and promote culture as a vector for creativity and innovation. And one example is our proposal that 2009 is a European Year for Creativity and Innovation, which will explore how creativity, culture and education are interlinked. If we want to answer the overarching question, how can we strengthen the contribution of culture and creative industries to growth and job creation in Europe, we must ask ourselves other questions too. How can culture and creativity be better promoted in education and in lifelong learning processes? Should we promote the development of creative partnerships between the cultural sector and other sectors, ICTs, research, tourism, social partners, and so on? What should be the right mix between public and private sources, and how to encourage private sources to invest more in culture? On workshop number 3, Europe and the rest of the world, culture is not something that should be fenced off in a corner on its own. It's interlinked with every aspect of our lives, and this is a rationale behind our European agenda for culture. Nor can culture be separated from the EU's other activities and aims. Such a separation would be artificial. The UNESCO Convention on the Protection and Promotion of the Diversity of Cultural Expressions, to which the European Union contributed greatly, illustrates this new role of cultural diversity internationally. And this is why we are proposing for our third objective that culture should be systematically integrated in all EU programs and exchanges with the rest of the world. And by the way, we propose a special fund for cooperation for culture in the context of our cooperation and development policy. So this is why we should, I think, discuss issues such as: is cultural cooperation an asset in developing external relations? Should we promote the UNESCO Convention as a pillar of sustainable development, and how to practically implement it? How can we promote intercultural dialogue as a fundamental part of the external relations of the EU? So I really think that these are vital issues. And yet, this is not all. For each workshop also gives you the chance to discuss our proposals for working together through structured dialogue with the cultural sector, open method of coordination, evidence-based policy, mainstreaming culture in other policies. And we are also very interested in getting your views on the roles that all of us, civil society and public authorities, should play at local, regional, national and European level. So what about after the forum? The forum, as the Minister said, will immediately be followed by an informal meeting of the Minister of Culture, where the conclusions from your previous days' work will certainly influence the debate. In our communication, we invite the Council to decide on a set of shared objectives and on an appropriate reporting process with the proposed open method of coordination. If the Council agrees on the policy proposals we propose, which should be, I hope, done by ministers at their Council meeting in November, then we can look forward to working together on this from 2008. This will get the European Year of Intercultural Dialogue off to a promising start. And I'm very happy in this context that we have all community institutions, the European Parliament, the Social and Economic Committee, the Committe of the Regions, because I think it's also an area where we should really work on an interinstitutional basis. Each of us has its own contribution to make. So before you begin what will be 2 days of intensive work, let me just stress that by joining forces, we are building the strong foundations that will place culture in its rightful place at the heart of the European agenda. All too often, culture is still perceived as a cost to society. And this forum, I'm certain, can help to correct this image. Together, we can show that culture is a genuine investment for every individual and for our societies as a whole. So I really look forward to your debates and to listening closely to your contributions. Thank you very much, and I wish you a very successful forum.